Well, for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's my pleasure, my privilege to be your host and moderator for this afternoon. As Bernard announced, today is this entire month is National Stress Awareness Month. And I don't know about you, but I don't always think about stress. And I don't think anybody always thinks about it. We try to put it out of our mind. And sometimes the last thing we want to face or to admit is that we may be dealing with some form of stress. So there's something that may be wrong with us, maybe because of some level of stress that we may be contending with. But it's kind of good that at least it comes around and now we're forced to give at least a little bit of attention to it and talk a little bit about it. And then maybe we can find some ways that we can consider managing it. But we do need to give you our disclaimer and just let you know that the FDA has not evaluated the statements that we are about to make. But we are allowed by I think it's the 14th Amendment that allows us to present information for educational purposes. You're going to hear testimonials. Testimonials are anecdotal. Results are atypical when we talk about products and what they do. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. Engage is making no claims that Micro Daily or any of the Engage Global products. We're going to talk about CBD Boost today quite a bit. We're not making any claims that it will treat, cure, or heal in any way, shape, or form. This is for information and educational purposes only. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust when it comes to making decisions about your health and your well-being. So we have that said because the law requires that we make sure that you are aware of it. Before we get Dr. Prasad to talk with us a little bit, because he's going to be telling us a lot about particularly the role of one of the, not one, but several, but he's going to spotlight and focus in on one of the products that Engage Global has on the market, one that he has formulated himself, one that he did the research on. He's going to share some of that research with us. And it's not going to take you long before you see the connection between this product and stress. It's no surprise that people are stressed. I was a little bit surprised when I saw this particular statistic that nearly 49% of all adults report that their behavior has been negatively affected by stress. And that's pretty just amazing to me. Symptoms could include things like, being quick to anger, increased tension. And if you've ever had that pain in the back of your shoulder, your neck, or your lower back, can't quite figure out what it is, sometimes it's connected just strictly to stress. Unexpected mood swings, yelling at loved ones, all those things can be signs of stress. And the list that was produced when I did the research on what kinds of things stress is connected to, it should not have surprised me. I hate to say it, but I was a little bit surprised to what degree, cardiovascular problems were connected to stress, but it's serious. And it does not surprise me that it is still the number one cause of death in this country is heart disease. So you don't want to go down that road. If there is nothing else that's presented here today that should motivate you to manage stress, it should be this one statistic alone. It's the number one cause of death in this country. Gastrointestinal disorders. Now, Dr. Prasad has come up with a great way to deal with all of these issues. But now, as we talk about managing stress with one of his particular formula, one specific formula he's going to be addressing, all of his formulas address all of these ancillary issues, but stress seems to be really the root cause of the entire problem. Did you know the immune system is also severely impacted by stress? When a person is under severe amounts of stress or heavy levels of stress, the immune system is suppressed. So a person can become more susceptible to infection, vulnerable to infection and other illnesses. Wounds heal even slower. So there's so many physical manifestations of stress. And now if you think that that's all of it, you are being misled. The list is so extensive that it's impossible to even sit here and go through all of the different conditions that are associated with stress. But just take a quick look. If you do a snapshot of this, you're getting 95% of the conditions that have been associated with stress. So it's no wonder that that all of you came here. I'm a little surprised that you didn't invite more of your friends and more of the people that you care about to this presentation, but that's okay. It's being recorded right now, and I would advise you to share it with anyone that you care about. And there is one story that I think it might be good for us to listen to just prior to Dr. Prasad coming on board, because this one particular testimonial um, was very strong, and some of you may even know Sheron. She doesn't mind us sharing her story. She wants people to know that the level of anxiety that she was dealing with, um, that she fell into the category of many of those things that we just saw on that list. And I think it would be to our benefit and to your benefit if we take a little bit of time and just listen to a portion of Sheron's story. Dr. Prasad has heard it before, but there are many of you that have not. So I'm going to just do a screen share and let's listen in and let Sheron share her story with us. And then Dr. Prasad can help us to understand perhaps just how something like CBD Boost or any the other Engaged Global product, because she mentions things that she believes helped her. So that's the reason why this is so fitting for us. Okay, so let's get Sheron. Let's give her a little bit of volume so we can actually hear her.
To deliver her like 5 months early because I was in so much pain, but didn't know why I was in a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with severe endometriosis. I had chronic pain day in, day out, and not natural bleeding that women go through. And I was also diagnosed with osteoarthritis. I had it really bad in my neck and my spine, and it crippled me. I was feeling like I've been electrocuted. Shocks just would go down my neck and back, and I couldn't move. And it would come out of nowhere at any given time, no matter where I was at. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had those, oh my God, from head to toe, I was in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis, and I developed PTSD. When I used to live in Houston, Texas, I was coming home one day from work and like they got kidnapped, human trafficking. And from there, I developed what Freddie mentioned, agoraphobia, a fear or a form of anxiety. I didn't want to leave my home because I was afraid of that happening again. And I was placed on several different medications for anxiety, depression, insomnia, because I couldn't sleep. Like Freddie, just thoughts just running through my mind, fear, worries, day in and day out. And I just needed help. And I was telling my whole family, I have a large family, seven sisters and 5 brothers. And my brother Alex and the rest of my family was encouraging me to continue to pray and try to look for things, and they would be looking for things. And I never forgot the scripture that I read. In fact, I read it this morning, 1 John 5:14 and 15. It tells us, if you ask Almighty God, whatever you ask him, he hears you. And if your prayers are in harmony with his will, he will answer you. And so I continued to pray and ask for help because I was in the bed all the time, constantly in a lot of pain and hurting. And I just didn't have a quality of life. And I was young, and in my 20s on up until now, I had continued to hurt. And so finally, when my brother discovered Dr. Prasad's products, he told me about it. I got on them. And I tell you, they work. When I got on the CBD, because I read what it's for anxiety, it's for insomnia, pain, depression. And those are things that I had, and I needed that. And so when I got on them, that's what I felt gave me my life back, because even today, I haven't even taken none of my products, including my CBD. And wow. Normally when it rains, because it's been raining all here all day today, either the day before, I start hurting so bad, head to toe, but no pain. and it's raining outside, no pain. Oh my God. I just was so happy that
Wow.
I'm not hurting head to toe. And I tell anybody, you know, these products are the real deal. They really work. And Dr. Prasad, I just wanted to tell you there's some words to a song that say, if you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because I'm looking at you. The world is looking at you, Dr. Prasad, and you are beautiful to us. We thank you for all the products because they really, really help. I went through so much in my life, losing a lot of family members. I lost my husband, my parents, and 3 of my siblings, several of them due to cancer. And that took me for a loop. And I'll tell you one thing, being on the CBD and increasing it and all, it helped me because I've been driving since I was 15 years old. And I was not, the last 8-9 years, I haven't been able to go outside and get in my car and drive my own car. And just last week, I went to get in my car. My brother came and gave me a jump because I don't go many places. And he gave me a jump. He said, come on, let's go around the block. And normally if I drive out of, you know, the neighborhood I live in, that's when my anxiety come on. And it's so bad. It makes like I'm about to have a heart attack. And I go to shaking and sweating and going on. But I noticed that that didn't happen. I drove out of my neighborhood, drove several blocks down the street, and I just tears just swelled up in my eyes because I realized that this CBD is really working for me, and I might get my life back and be able to drive and be independent. You don't know how it feels to be independent and be able to get in your car and go wherever you want to go and not have, you know, that hindrance, and to be able to get out your bed and want to be around people. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to stay in my house, perfectly happy staying in my house. But if I had to go anywhere, I had anxiety attack because of having to go outside of my house. But I noticed it's getting so much better, and I'm starting to have better quality of life. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Prasad, that's anyway, that's the story that we want to share with you all. And just to get this started before we introduce Dr. Prasad to our program, I'm going to ask him a couple of questions, and maybe he can explain to us, just help us to understand how someone could get the kinds and make the kinds of statements that she made. I mean, they've gone through such a massive debilitating way of life to being back in control again. And as we said before, remember that testimonies are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. But let's bring Dr. Prasad into our discussion. This is the man behind the research and behind the science. As you can see, Dr. Prasad was the world's first radiation biology PhD, the first one in the world. I was talking to Dr. Nakuzi last night, and I brought up Dr. Prasad's name, and he just interrupted me. He says, could you imagine someone who went to the university in Colorado and became the first radiation biology PhD in the world? I mean, so he just knew it right off the top of his head. So that is really a big deal. His products have been awarded 10 U.S. patents on micronutrients. The National Institute of Health has awarded millions of dollars to Dr. Prasad for his research. We're talking Congress here, $12.5 million was awarded for his research with connection to the military. He discovered the anti-cancer potency of vitamin E succinate and discovered that butyric acid is an anti-cancer agent. He was a professor at the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years, former president of the International Society of Cancer Research. He was invited to be a member of the Royal Society of Medicine in London, UK. He was also invited to be on the Nobel Peace Prize nominated committee for candidates in medicine. He attended postdoctorate training at Brookhaven National Laboratory, Long Island, New York. Among his many works, author or co-author of some 33 books. I think it's more than that now, and he's been published more than 250 times. And I guess if we say more than 250 times, that is a true statement, because I think it's closer to 300, but there's been more than 450 references to Dr. Prasad's published works in PubMed. So if you go to the government's official library of medical documents, more than 450 times, people make reference to Dr. Prasad's work. That's saying something. They've never made reference to any one of my works in PubMed. Wait a minute, I don't have any works in PubMed. So I guess there's no surprise there. So Dr. Prasad, welcome, sir. Welcome. And we thank you very much once again for joining us in our discussion. We cannot express our appreciation enough to you for what you've done and what you bring to our lives. And what about this Sheron here, sir? What tell us your comments on what happened to Sheron in her life here.
Thank you, Jonathan. I always enjoy being with you and our engaged family members. And it is very interesting that stress also leads to anxiety, depression, and sleeping disturbance, and so many things that you showed. So before you address that, you have to know why it happens. What are the basic, we know external factor, like sadness, family issue, but all these external factor causes. But what happens in your body inside that leads to the development of stress, anxiety, depression, and so on? What leads to? Well, I was doing this morning some research. I was surprised to find out that actually increased oxidative stress initiate the development of a stress and also anxiety, which causes anxiety and depression and rest of them. So, and then if you have why increased oxidative stress? Many people are taking diet which are deficiency in micronutrient like A, C, B, E, and all the nutrient deficiency. So their body level increases oxidative stress. When oxidative stress occurs, then you have also neuroinflammation in the brain. And when that happens, then that affects both oxidative stress and neuroinflammation, affects many biochemical factors in the going on. For example, they will have a decline level of serotonin. Then they will also have the impaired function of plasticity, neuron plasticity. Also neurogenesis, the formation of new neuron gets impaired. So all these factors contributes to the development of a stress and so So the question, so this is very important, increase oxidative stress and inflammation. You have to take care of that. Second thing that we found out, which was surprising, was even in this, people who are suffering from this one, intestinal dysbiosis has been also observed. And so now you have this one. And so then question is, you have these things, that what you do? Well, we know that to decrease oxidative stress and inflammation, if you take micro daily EMF, either capsule or hydroform, that would be very useful to reduce the oxidative stress and inflammation.
Right.
Then what you say? Then what you do to correct the intestinal dysbiosis? Well, we have a probiotics with prebiotics. You can do that one, so that will be very helpful as well. And then what happens that you have decreased serotonin level, because all these factors are not going to do anything to your serotonin, which is very important as well. This will help, but not fully. You have to also increase the serotonin level. So current treatment of antidepressant agent, there are many, but all of them have a common mechanism, namely they act as an inhibitor of serotonin reuptake. So serotonin does not get inside the cell and get destroyed, so they prevent it, serotonin. And so so antidepressant agent like Prozac or some Zoloft, all these things there are 10 different medications which does exactly the same thing, but each of them has toxicity. But here comes the CBD. CBD, as you know, has been approved by the FDA for certain for children in have seizures, And this is very important. The CBD is the only agent that also acts as an inhibitor of serotonin reuptake. In other
Wow.
words, it acts like a antidepressant medication that FDA has approved it.
Wow.
But this one is well known. And so that's why Sharon, when I was talking about serotonin, this in combination with some, I presume, other products she is taking, then this is very important. That's why she was feeling so good. And so now you have
Wow.
not only serotonin in act as a, this act as a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, but it also increases the dopamine level, which makes you happy. This is one of the very important. If your dopamine is not elevated, you don't feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a double function. Not only it increases serotonin, which keeps you calm and quiet, reduce anxiety, but also makes you happy because it increases the dopamine level. And third thing, which is equally important, because it is one of the naturally occurring substances which will stimulate the endocannabinoid defense system that our body has, which has a receptors. And through the receptors, the CBD also, through the endocannabinoid receptors, inhibits the release of glutamate. And glutamate is very important for your brain function. Here is something about, let me finish this one, then I will go through this one.
Okay.
This is very important that they have it, because if you have excessive glutamate release, first, it is toxic to your nerve cell. Second, it causes hyperactivity, like you see in autism or ADHD, very hyperactive.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it is so much function of CBD is that it is important to have all this kind of combination. So at least in this scenario, we must have a, and when you take probiotics, that means intestinal health, you also have to take a digestive enzyme because that impairs when you have a bad stomach, you have a digestive enzyme. So for the benefit, I would recommend that take macro daily EMF1, probiotics with prebiotics that we have, digestive enzyme, and CBD. These
Wow.
three are a must. And then, for example, people there is no direct benefit of collagen peptides, but most of the people, if you are older people, we want to be young, so it does not interfere. So if you take a collagen peptide because you want to look young, and there are many benefits that we have discussed in the past, so it will be okay, but not for this specific purpose.
Right. So, Dr. Prasad, are you saying then that when you hear Sharon, it doesn't surprise you at all?
No,
She got
I'm
the kind
happy
of benefits
that
because
this
it
is
blows
what.
our mind. I mean, it makes us, we can't even hardly believe that CBD would have that kind of an effect on a
No,
person.
I'm happy to hear the benefit because sometimes you see the prediction,
Right.
but prediction comes true, then you are extremely happy.
Right.
I mean, I would have said that it will happen, but I don't know whether it will happen, for example.
Well, it happened. It happened. And
And
she's not the only
when it
one.
happens, it amuses me. So let us know something about CBD that people may not know about it.
I think folks need to hear what you got to say about what CBD does and why it's possible that it could have a benefit to any one of all of us.
Yes, exactly. And the CBD is one of the cannabinoids. There are many cannabinoids, which is one of them, and it is in the hemp. Hemp plant is a cousin of sativa, stevia, which has produced our THC as well. But in this, unlike other cousin, hemp plant has only 0.3% THC, whereas marijuana plant has a 20% THC. And
That's
so,
a big difference.
Yeah, it is much easier to isolate from a hemp plant because the chances of, once you purify it, coming THC is very small. And as you know, THC is very addictive and can damage your brain if you take it over a long time.
Yep, understood.
And as you know that in our body, we have two highly evolved protective mechanisms against all kind of a stressor. If we know antioxidant, we know that. Antioxidant defense system has a antioxidant compound and antioxidant enzymes. Then we have endocannabinoid system, and endocannabinoid system. This is very interesting that the discovery of endocannabinoid system, even though it was present for millions of years, but it was never discovered. It was long after antioxidant discovered. And so it was only in 1992 that endocannabinoid defense system was discovered. Can you believe that?
Yeah, well, none of us,
People were focusing on antioxidant defense system.
we never heard anything about it in school. It
No,
wasn't
I
even
never
discussed.
either. I never
Yeah.
either. But you know why it happens accidentally? This is what happened in research. While they were investigating about the effect of marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
somebody said, in the brain, looks like something else is going on. And then they started dividing. Oh, they discovered anandamide and then and the 2-AG, and you will see that all those things receptor so discovered. But it started while they were investigating the effect of marijuana plant. If there were
Wow.
no marijuana plant study, there won't be any endocannabinoid system discovered. So we
Wow.
are very thankful to marijuana plant that while we were
Exposed us to
studying
this,
the
yeah.
mechanism, how it was working, by chance we discovered this endocannabinoid system.
That's amazing.
There is endocannabinoid system to a small molecule and anandamide. Anandamide is in a Sanskrit means you are very happy. Anandamide in Ayurvedic medicine they have used this kind of molecules. And 2-AG, I can't pronounce that, 2-archodonylglycerol. So these are two main that stimulates the receptors. And then you have the 2 endocannabinoid receptor, CB1, CB2. Then there are all these things. They are synthesizing enzyme, they are degradative enzyme. And as I said that, but somebody has to stimulate them. And in this case, endocannabinoid system is there at low level, but you stimulate them, then they become more active, more protective. So CBD is the only safe agent and enhance the level of anandamide and 2-AG. Until you increase these two molecules, they cannot act on the receptor. They all go through this endocannabinoid receptor, CB1 and CB2. But good news is that also CBD acts directly. One way to act is via endocannabinoid system. The second way it acts directly stimulates the receptor for serotonin. So you have more serotonin in the body, in the cell. And also it increases directly the level of dopamine. It is a partial agonist of dopamine receptor. So you have increased dopamine, so you feel happy. So that's very interesting.
And that's just from CBD by itself. It's just amazing that all this activity is taking place. And this is all
Yeah,
neurons
like you can see
looking at
that.
here. So this
Yeah.
illustration is, and none of us were ever exposed to this pretty much in school. We're learning about it from Professor Prasad. So you all
Yeah.
need to be thankful that,
And
that
you
we're
can
getting
see
this
that they have
class.
also the GABA, and you want
Yes.
to GABA inhibitor so that you are
Yeah.
calm and quiet. But if you don't, so this is very important. They increases the production of GABA amino acid.
Yeah,
So GABA
anything
is
that attaches to that GABA receptor, that's where tranquilizers go, right?
Yeah. So you can see that
It produce
all
that
the
calming
receptor.
effect.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's why you feel calm and quiet. In
Yeah.
one hand, you have increase in the production of serotonin, and other you have increase in the production of inhibitory molecules, GABA. And that's why you feel so calm and quiet.
Incredible. Okay. And so this is good. The inflammatory components here is still.
And CBD also does these inflammatory and protects against inflammatory and oxidative damage, but it is a weak one. It is not like our antioxidant enzyme or these things, but it also participates by different mechanism, decrease the oxidative stress and inflammation. So a combination with our microdaily EMF and CBD would be much better in not only in improving the symptoms of anxiety and depression and stress, but also enhancing the effect of the EMF.
Wow.
You can see that CBD prevents the release of glutamate during acute neurological disease and
Right.
progression of neurodegenerative diseases. So it is CBD is extremely important, but also don't forget the oxidative stress, microdaily EMF, and intestinal dysbiosis. And we call it intestinal dysbiosis because the composition of the bacteria increases in favor of toxic bacteria.
Mhm.
Normally, we have beneficial bacteria.
Right.
But
Right.
when that shift occurs because of a stress, because of whatever reasons are, it is almost every disease that you can think of.
Mhm.
Intestinal dysbiosis occurs. But nobody is paying attention to intestinal dysbiosis, how to correct it.
Right. Very good.
And we are suggesting that all items like even CBD by itself will help some. For example, the FDA-approved drug antidepressive depressive drugs, they also increases the serotonin level because they act as an inhibitor of serotonin reuptake, like CBD does.
Mhm.
But they can't do anything about oxidative stress and inflammation. They can't do anything about dysbiosis. So they are effective short-term, then people become resistant and this kind of stuff because you are not, and our goal is to take care of everything that is contributing it to
Mhm.
stress.
Well,
Not
we're
only
getting,
physical, outside phenomena
yeah.
that you yoga, you do
Yeah.
meditation, you take vacation. These are
Right.
all very important things. But also, until you also correct biochemically, the
Mhm.
outside intervention, physical intervention, won't be as effective.
That's right.
So you have to do both
Right.
to enhance further.
Right.
At least you take care of biochemical changes that is occurring during all this year time. And then these external forces like meditation, yoga, especially teenagers, for example, they also have all kind of pressure for depression and
Oh
anxiety.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
many of them take antidepressant agent. And they
Mhm.
feel happy because they increases serotonin level, also increases some dopamine level. They feel happy, but they have a toxic long-term effect. And so, but here the simple thing that we can do, and I hope that our people can spread this message that by simple adaptation of, say, microdaily EMF, probiotics,
Well,
digestive enzyme,
well, trust me, Dr. Prasad,
at least
we,
four things at least three things you can must do it, you know. But if there are limited resources, microdaily EMF, probiotics, and CBD is a must.
well, we're getting the word out on that, that's for sure. The source of our CBD, because we do have some people that say, well, I take a CBD or I take a this, I take a that. Tell us a little bit about, why the source of our CBD is
Oh yeah,
special.
this is very important. Hemp plant has only 0.3% THC, as I mentioned earlier, and cannabinoid in hemp plant. This is a cannabinoid. CBD is a major cannabinoid, and this one many times they advertise this one cannabis or CBG. It is a precursor. So why you want a precursor? Which is not as
Right,
effective as the
right.
first line. So
Need the
all
real
these,
thing.
for example, some of the seeds of CBD, a hemp plant from the seed has no CBD. Many oil they buy it. Oil doesn't have CBD very much. And it has also here is another different types of CBD.
Ah, okay,
See here,
okay.
this is very
So,
important for people to understand.
I heard people bragging about CBG, and like you said, that's just a precursor. And now you're saying that the oil that's produced from seed is it's not
No,
CBD.
no,
It has
that's
no
the
benefit.
fact. Then another type of called full spectrum CBD.
Right,
People will say it is better than the CBD alone. No,
right.
it has
It
a
isn't.
THC. So CBD has everything that hemp plant has, including THC. Why you want to take that? Then is a broader spectrum. CBD has everything that hemp plant has except THC. So you can say, oh, I will take broader spectrum. But people have done the study, the broader spectrum, the CBD alone, purified one, is much better in reducing inflammation or pain or whatever the parameter they were measuring it. And I reviewed that paper. And so broader spectrum is not what they claim for. CBD oil could be fuller spectrum or broader spectrum. So why you want to have it?
Right.
So that's no good. CBD isolate the highly purified CBD. It is more effective than full spectrum or broad spectrum. And hemp oil from seeds has no CBD.
Wow.
So you have to understand the difference so that if somebody says, well, I'm taking broader spectrum CBD, look sexy. Look, oh, it has everything. But everything doesn't have to be very good.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so it is very important that at least one paper showed that definitely CBD was much better than isolate.
This is interesting, Dr. Prasad. So, and I think that everybody, all the affiliates and people trying to help others to understand the value of Engage Global CBD, and what you've
Exactly.
done is that
Exactly.
what we have is a CBD isolate. So anyone
Yes.
who's bragging about this full spectrum, or bragging about this broad
Right.
spectrum,
Full
bragging about
spectrum,
the
yeah.
CBG and all CBAs and everything else, they don't really have anything that your body actually needs the most. What they need the most is
Exactly. Exactly.
CBD, the isolate.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow. So that means it's almost like our CBD is a concentrate.
Yes. Isolate. This is very important to have highly purified. Then you don't get all kind of junk there. In a
Wow.
plant, you have many kind of junk.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see
That's
that.
incredible.
So I
So,
think it is very important that it has a 25 milligram. Another thing I want to say that if you use a very high dose, say for example, 500 or 500 milligram every day for a longer time, it can inhibit the enzyme called 450 in the liver. And this enzyme degrades destroyed your drug, medication, many things that you take. So if the enzyme is inhibited, that your drug is not being degraded, destroyed, and therefore blood level of the drug may go up, and that you might have a toxicity of medication that you are taking. And so that's why I always recommend people to take not more than 100 to 200 milligram of, yeah.
I see. Very good. So just to kind of wrap up this portion of it, then, can you tell us a little bit about these benefits? And I noticed that anxiety is mentioned on this list of benefits.
Yeah, anxiety, depression is very important because CBD reduces the production of excitatory neurotransmitter like glutamate and enhances the production of inhibitory transmitter like gamma aminobutyric acid or GABA, and they are linked with, in this case, autism. But this is also important for this stress. It reduces pain and anxiety. Just briefly, I said it. CBD effect is mediated by, one of the effects is mediated by endocannabinoid receptor CB1 and CB2.
Got it.
So
Got it.
CBD has multiple functions, and the most important function is it reduces stress and anxieties because it mimics the effect of like she was saying that she has a PTSD. And in PTSD, the medication that they recommend is serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Yeah.
And there is the CBD, which is non-toxic, does the same thing.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is powerful and good for us to know, folks.
So I
So
think this
just
is the CBD. So people who have anxiety, not everybody has to take it, but those who have anxiety, depression, sleep disturbances, this can be very helpful.
This will be the one. So then, for the sake of our audience, this is pretty amazing, and this is the product. Here it is. You're looking at it. And if you'd like to get a hold of this, just talk to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they'll tell you how to get it. It retails for almost $103. And if you go to other health food stores and things like that, you'll see the price is right in that ballpark. This is, I think, worth way more than that, again, because it's the isolate. But we want to tell you how you can get it for free. Now, you heard Dr. Prasad commenting on all the things that Sheron was taking, because I happen to know Sheron personally. And I know that she was taking every single thing that we're looking at here. She was taking the micro daily, and it definitely was helping. She had so many health problems. It was unbelievable. The doctors, they really just didn't have much to offer her. But Dr. Prasad's products and his formulas made all the difference in the world. The micro daily dealt with the free radicals and the oxidative stress that her body was going through, the probiotic boost, the collagen daily, and the omega. That's all part of what's referred to as the core four. So that's the foundation,
Yeah,
all the things
that's
that Dr.
foundation.
Prasad has talked about.
And
You,
CBD. And
but you get,
the thing is, just I want to just announce one thing.
yes,
On a Tuesday, if you want to know more about CBD and what the Engage has to offer on this issue,
mm-hmm.
then Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, we are going to discuss in much more detail about CBD.
Excellent, excellent. And in fact, I was going to, we're going to make sure that that announcement is made real clear for everybody. But everyone now, you need to understand that if you subscribe to the Core 4,
Yes.
you'll get the CBD for free.
Oh,
So
I didn't. I said, yeah, good.
this is a special offer. We're talking National Stress Awareness Month. So Engage
Yes,
Global
yes.
is ahead of the game.
I mean,
And here it
that's
is.
perfect.
So you get it free. So just jump on it, folks. Take full advantage of this. Your subscription to the Core 4, you'll get free CBD. And again, here's what the Core 4 is made up of: micro daily, the probiotic. This is what Dr. Prasad was talking about with the intestinal dysbiosis. You take this and you get your gut biome under control.
Under control.
The omega-3,
It's very
phenomenal
important for brain
circulation.
function, for anxiety. I mean, I forgot to mention that, but it is extremely important. Omega-3.
Excellent, excellent. And this, I tell you right now, I can't live without this stuff. This stuff here is just amazing. It's like you just really seriously, if you want to just slow down the aging process, you got to add this to your diet, folks. So
Is very important. It is not only you look good, younger, but also as you grow older for your brain function, because it is very important for heart, for brain, everything.
you said you told us before last month when we were talking about the kidneys that the same thing that's happening to our skin on the outside is happening to our organs. So if they're getting, if our skin is getting saggy, our organs are getting saggy.
Yeah, yeah. So those core 4 plus CBD would be ideal for anybody.
All right, so there you have it, folks. And these are your options for those who, for whatever reason, cannot make it all the way to the Core 4. Then again, you just talk to the person who invited you. But there's the basic bundle, there's the premium bundle, and then there's the Core 4. Those are the ones that the Dr. Prasad recommends. So you just get back with the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will help you with making your choices. And next week, if Dr. Prasad is not able to make it back with us, we're still going to be talking about part 2. So we're following up on this with part 2.
Yeah, this is very important topics about how to stress, anxiety, depression. These are also growing more and more worldwide. I mean,
that's right.
In the United States.
And we're not done by a long shot, folks. We're not done by a long shot with that.
And many times we can't control the event which causes the stress, but certainly we can control our inside body, what is happening.
Right.
Because suppose in a war or, family problem or relationship problem, any kind of problem beyond our control. But one thing is our control is how we can reduce something which was causing this problem. That is in our hand.
That's right. This is in our possession. We have an endocannabinoid system that we can do something with and invoke its power in our behalf. So we have one question that came up in the chat, Dr. Prasad. Someone wants to know, is CBD addictive? Is it habit forming?
No, it doesn't. That's one beauty of the thing is because it has no THC, no trace even. And CBD is not addictive at all.
That's good. So not even a trace.
No.
A trace, see. So that's good.
And THC is the one which causes addiction. There is no CBD, and it has been tested in human, in every place else.
Right.
No no addiction.
Someone has asked a question in the past, because there's folks have to get drug tested when they drive trucks or when they do certain things. We do have to let them know that it could test positive for a drug, even though there is no THC in it, could
Yes,
make them
yeah,
fail.
exactly. Because sometimes you don't know what they are measuring there, but it is not CBD, but there is it is a kind of a, you know, naturally occurring substances, CBD, and the CBD sometimes made it defined as a drug. And therefore, until somebody knows what they are measuring it, in other words, you have to know from the company point of view what you are measuring it. Hardcore drug. I suppose somebody said that
Right.
I want to take a CBD to companies people.
Mhm.
CBD have no addiction. You can talk to your doctor, and the company says, yeah, you can take it. But testing is different. Testing could come as a drug, and then
Right.
you have trouble.
Right.
And so, but in the beginning, before when you are, if you decide to take it, you can ask your company, doctor or company must have
That's
some
right. That's
health
right.
that I'm going to take this thing for my need. Is it all right? Because I don't know what will come in the tests.
Correct. Correct.
If they approve it, then it's okay.
And they can hand them the information sheet about it
Yeah,
and let them know. Okay. Very
yeah,
good. Very
exactly.
good. Okay. And one clarification that Jeff wants us to make sure that everyone knows is that the free CBD is for new preferred customers and new affiliates. So when the slide said Core 4 on subscription, so that applies to a
Yes,
new preferred customer and a new affiliate.
yes.
And let's see, there's another any other question that came up there. Someone asked a question about the an update on the fungating cancer case. I think, Dr. Prasad, I'm going to get with you and we're going to do an entire program on that fungating cancer.
What is that?
That fungating breast cancer situation that we've been
Oh
working
yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
cancer.
we'll do
It's a
that.
cancer. Hmm.
Yeah, we'll do a whole program on that
Okay,
one. But
okay.
just for those who are asking the question, just know this: progress is definitely being made. Dr. Prasad is absolute genius. I can tell you that much right now. And I believe that what this man did in getting a patent for his specific formula that's very similar to high doses of microdaily, I think is going to change the world because what we're seeing happening with this woman with fungating cancer is absolutely mind-boggling. So that's all we're going to say about that for now. So but we'll give you details on that down the road. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions related to our subject matter that is coming up. If you do have a question right now, is your chance to sneak your question in. And if you've had any personal experience with CBD that you want to share that you benefited from, that would also be very appropriate, especially when it comes to managing stress. I can tell you that before the sleep boost came out, CBD was my friend at night because man, that would make me go into REM sleep and I would sleep really, really deep. My wife loves it because it's great for anxiety issues. So
Yeah,
it's phenomenal with that.
it is so non-toxic.
Yep. Just powerful. Alfreda has a question or comment. Please go ahead, Alfreda.
Okay, so I was just gonna say I take the CBD every day because of my job. I work in a call center for mortgage, and it really keeps me from getting fired. And because I have people calling and yelling and cussing at me, and when I take that, it helps me not respond. How you were saying, it keeps you quiet. It keeps me quiet. And if I ever notice that I'm like starting to respond to them like I want to, then I take another one. So it helps me to stay on my job for right now, and so that's a good thing.
Thank you.
I would say that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CBD boost has saved my job.
yeah.
Maddie Daniel, please.
Yes, hi. This is my first time hearing about this. Well, actually, my second, because I was told about it the other day, how good it is. And I've been
Hello,
told
Maddie Daniel. I
health
know who you are. Go ahead.
yeah, I've been told about some health issues that I recently discovered with my heart. So then I was referred to this product. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I get it? So
Very good.
I
Yeah,
was
very
told to
simple.
tune in. So I'm trying to get information on how do I get it under Ruth Lawrence.
Very, very good. No problem at all. I'll give you a
Yeah.
call and I'll guide you
Okay.
through what to do. Okay.
All right, great.
Yeah, you made a wise choice, and Ruth did you quite a solid by
I
recommending
think it's
that
a
you come on
blessing.
board.
And like the previous person said, maybe I'll be able to keep my job.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for your comment, and thank you for popping your question in there. Okay, anyone else? Got time for maybe one or two more here before we wrap up? Bernard, please go ahead.
Yeah, could you tell us how young you can be as far as to take CBD, and is there anything else that could be taken in light of one being maybe too young to take this product?
Yeah, I mean, suppose if you are a teenager, then you can take a smaller dose, like 25 milligram. As you grow older, maybe 50 milligram. Sometimes nobody has done titration. That what is the best effective dose? Like that lady was showing, she takes one but didn't feel, then takes another one. But as long as you are under 100 milligram, you are okay. Teenager, I'm talking about it. And then even older people, they have to determine what dose they are the best. As long as they don't cross 200 without checking with the doctor, then this is okay. So dose is very important. But I start with the lowest dose. If it works, that's fine. And if he says, oh, I need a little more, take another capsule, because each capsule has 25 milligram.
And Dr. Prasad, didn't you say that when it comes to seizures, that 750 milligrams?
Yeah, the children that
approved?
FDA approve is a 750 milligram per day to control seizure. But that's a
Okay.
disease.
Right.
But most of the time, it is not that acute type of disease. And that's why, as I said, that if you give too high for a long time, then because if somebody has depression and anxiety, at least chronically, this what you call transient one is okay. You take for a week or 2 weeks and gone, and then you are happy. But if you have a chronic depression or chronic anxiety and stress, then you have to take for a longer period of time. And for a longer period of time, you should avoid taking a very high dose, like I said, over 200.
Right.
But if you are, it is suppose still 200 milligram is not working for me. Working for
Right.
me 300 milligram. I would
Right.
try myself, and you can check with your doctor, and it is a safe dose, even in 300 milligram. But the question is, some people may not take all kind of medication,
Right.
and so even the enzyme get inhibited a little bit P450. It is not going to affect them. But so I think try to avoid high
Right.
dose. I think most of the people are getting benefit under 200 milligram.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do
Freddie,
you know how much Sharon was taking?
yeah, I was just going to say, Freddie Ivory and Sharon said that on some occasions they would take as much as 300 milligrams. So they were taking like 6 at a time on rare occasions. But for the most part, they just need to take 2, 3, or 4. So around 200 milligrams or less.
So I mean, 25 milligram, even if you take a
Oh, no, 50 and
6,
100. So 4 is just 100 milligrams. Yeah, so you're right.
4 is 100 milligram, yeah.
They were
And
saying
6
6
is
is
150, so
only
you are within
150.
200, yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Okay, one last question, Maddie. Maddie, want to slip in one more question here before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wanted to ask a question about taking aspirin. I take BC powders, and that's like 1,000 milligram, but I only take no more than maybe 1 or 2 a day as needed. And it's 6 hours apart. Would that interfere with it?
I think first it will not interfere, but the important thing is that if you have a pain, that's why probably you are taking aspirin, right?
Yes.
And sometimes this
Arthritis.
COVID these
I'm sorry, arthritis pain. You know,
yeah. So if you take the core 4, many people who are suffering from what you have arthritic pain, they claim benefit, so you don't have to take it.
Oh yeah, that's almost over
If
with,
you take a
man.
core
Thank
4,
you.
if you take a core 4 plus CBD, I would say that you give a try. And many people who are taking like under your condition, such as yours, they say that I don't feel any pain. And so
Oh,
you have
great.
Your
to try
life
and
is-
let us know.
Your life has
For
changed,
example, let
Maddie.
us know in a while that after you tried for 60 days or 90 days, then let Jonathan know how you feel.
Okay.
Your
Thank you
life
so
has
much.
changed, Maddie.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Prasad, thank you very much, Dr. Prasad, once again for joining us. And as a reminder, everyone, you heard Dr. Prasad announce it. This Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time, you want to be on the corporate call. You do not want to miss that because he's going to be doing a deep dive into CBD.
Yeah.
And you're going to be hearing all the details about it. So make sure anyone that you know that needs to hear about it, get them on that call. And there's other reasons why you want to be on that call also. So I'm just going to throw that little hint out there. You're not going to want to miss this call on Tuesday night. Thank you again, Dr. Prasad.
Okay.
And anyone who wants to, you can unmute and say goodbye to Dr. Prasad.
Bye-bye.